They are steampunk, but I describe them as a steampunk young Indiana Jones Chronicles. But instead of set in like the 1910s and 1920s, we have set these adventures just shy of the 20th century. So we're talking late 19th century, and these are prequels to the steampunk series that my wife and I wrote together. Pull that first book up here in just a second. You recognize it. This is The Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences, written by myself and my wife, and that's what I'm bringing to the table. For those of you, I'm a writer. I've been a professional author for not full-time author, but a full-time not a full-time author, but a professional author since 2002. That was my first my first book contract with a small press called Dragon Moon Press. And while I know there are some people that are hardcore fans of NaNoWriMo, I always approach it with the attitude of I admire anything that encourages people to write. NaNoWriMo is not necessarily my thing, and it's nothing against the actual event itself. I've worked with tight deadlines before, but people who manage to do NaNoWriMo, I am astounded at what they do. And while I don't necessarily participate in NaNoWriMo, I offer up my stream and my own channel here as a platform for people who want to come in here and talk about writing, talk about things that are the questions they may have about the writing profession. And so yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. We have an open mic here, we have an open platform, and I'm very proud to be part of the writing community on a whole. And for those folks who may be new at this, who may have questions about, sorry, hang on a minute. Oh, I was trying desperately to figure out what was going on with the I was trying to figure out what was going on with the closed captioning. I'm like, Hebrew cat is gorgeous, 562. Yep, okay. What? I got it now. I got it under control, everybody. I think we're good now. I think we're good. But that's what I mean by this is a NaNoWriMo friendly stream, you know? Let me just make sure of something. Yeah. I'll stick with just chatting. I'm going to stick with just chatting. This is a good place to be. Oh, look at that. Jazzy Kate gifting a tier 1 sub to Mighty Murr. How about that? You know what, Rick? Since I'm actually sticking with a the lo-fi, the lo-fi jam, and sticking with a Twitch soundtrack, I think lo-fi beats are good for being able to create stuff, and you know, it works for me anyway. But anyway, so to kind of backtrack a bit, the current work I'm writing is a young adult steampunk series called Verity Fitzroy and the Ministry 7. This will be the third book in the series, and if you give me one moment, I could actually drop into chat the link to the very first book. So give me a second here. These books can be ordered from bookstores everywhere, but they can also be found on Amazon, probably the easiest place to pick it up right now. And Audible Plus? No, I don't necessarily want it on Audible. Let's try that again. Boop. Ah, there we go. I had to click on that. All right, let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. Whoa. And there we go. Here we are. Oh, even better. That's, oh wow. Well done, Amazon. I always like it when Amazon comes through and stuff. Dark Jedi, how are you? Well done, Dark Jedi. Well done. I, at this time, will be 18 minutes into Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, it's just a, yeah, doing lo-fi and getting work done, I always think works best. That's a formula that works really well for me. But anyway, there you go. There's the link to the entire series. That's Verity Fitzroy and the Ministry 7. That will be on Game Pass tomorrow, exactly. All right. So Verity Fitzroy and the Ministry 7, for those of you who don't know, the Ministry 7 are a group of street urchins that help out Books and Brawn throughout the original 6 books of the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences series. They are our steampunk version of the North Avenue Irregulars. And this series of events, which right now are going to span 4 books, Verity Fitzroy and the Ministry 7, this is her adventure with these kids. Verity Fitzroy is mentioned throughout the series, and she's also mentioned in the steampunk podcast that Pip and I do, Tales from the Archives, available now on Audible. Yeah. So anyway, so that is the that's the long and short of it. This is a prequel. You do meet Eliza as well as Harry Thorne. Harrison Thorne is the original agent that Eliza D. Braun worked with, and you meet him, or what's left of him. You meet him in Phoenix Rising. But these are the 4 books that are prequels. They're young adult series. You can go ahead and check them out. And yo, Successful Geek, how are you? Cleaned up bank space yesterday. Didn't get my seal. Don't think I can finish it, but that's okay. Which seal were you going for, Geek? Which one? All right. Just the season one? Got it. You know, if you really were able to grind all day today, I think you could do it. I think you could manage to do it. The Dungeonize can be tricky if you don't know where to look. There are plenty of videos, provided you can get through a few waves. Yeah, you could do it. You could do it. You just have to find a couple of people that are comfortable with the dungeon. That's the tricky bit. All right. So going back to the work in progress right now. This is Secret of the Monkey God, and what's going on here is that the contingency from the White City, which is a hidden city from South America, they're coming over to an exposition of inventors in Edinburgh, Scotland, and I'm going through the original chapter where the prince is introduced, and just zhuzhing it up a bit. Once I do this, I can actually then start. I can start creating stuff from scratch. So let's get to it. All right. And again, I'll be checking chat throughout. Feel free to ask me questions about steampunk, about writing, about my writing process. That's what this is all about. Giving everybody an inside look at what we do as writers. It involves a lot of reading, and a lot of editing, and a lot of, oh God, that sucks, and fixing it. The Secret Triumph, just so you know, is related to, if I remember correctly, it was related to Festival of the Lost. So that is one triumph that that you're missing. Now, if you're talking about the Secret Triumph, if you're talking about the Secret Triumph in If you're talking about the Secret Triumph in the seal for Forerunner, that's a different one. That's a different one. I can always pull up and take a look for myself. It was a pretty simple one. Basically, you get like if you get the all three, the ship and all these other things. There was another Triumph. I can't remember if I even got it. I know I got the ship. I got the Ghost, and I got the Sparrow for the season. Let me just see here. Pursuits. Yeah, I just got Deathbringer the other day, and that was fun. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. And my looks like my rank was 270. So let's see. So specifically the Forerunner seal. Hang on a minute. Let me look that up. So there's pursuits, bounties, quests, challenges. I'm on the app right now, as a matter of fact. Clan roster. I picked up all of that. Oh, wait. There it is. Triumphs. Ta-da! Okay. So moments of triumphs, arrivals. Okay. So there was the upgrade. Yeah, there was the mod collector, advanced pyramid focus, excess focus, armor, destinations, heavy hitters, loop, clear the air, ancient light and new, hive god, exodus preppers. It's funny you have me at a screenshot. Perfect. Give me a minute. How did this writing stream suddenly become a Destiny stream? How did that happen? All right, give me a second here. Okay. So let me look here. Oh, it's once you complete the Hive God Optometrist, that Secret Triumph fills in. Because it is, let's see, interference, clear the air, defeat Savathun's mysterious supplicant in mission interference. Yeah, that one right there. That clear the air. It's that is the last mission that you run in interference. So you're basically doing all the different you're doing all the different means to an ends, but then there's one last one which has a brand new ending to it, and it's one where when you get there, there's I believe Nokris is there, or the ghost of Nokris. One of the images of Nokris is there, and then you've got a is it a shrieker? Yeah, you got a shrieker on either side, and what happens is you take out one crystal at the central area, then you go up over to the right. There's like a levitated cliff over here. You destroy a crystal over there, and then you come back down. You do it on the left-hand side. Yeah, that's what that Secret Triumph is. That's called Clear the Air. Interference, clear the air. Defeat Savathun's mysterious supplicant in mission interference. And then there's Hive God Optometrist, where you basically take care of that. You can still get it done. It's going to be close, but you can still get it done. Good luck to you, buddy. Good luck. Good luck. All right. Let's see. All right. So let's get back to the writing, shall we? Back to lay writing. Yeah, about the event tonight. I'm actually going to sit out the event because I thought it'd be more fun to actually play a game and just chill out with folks that way. I honestly think that would be a better option for me than to hang out at the tower for 3 hours. I mean, granted, you all know I can gab and I would be fine, but I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to go on ahead and just focus on getting some writing done here, and then loosening up with some Among Us tonight with the kiddo. Me and the daughter and a gathering of individuals. So it should be fun. Is Phil joining me today for the writing sprint, or is he gonna? Are you talking about? Are you talking about tonight for Among Us? Probably not. I don't know if he even plays Among Us. Be great if he did, because then getting him in here would be a riot. But no, to my knowledge, Phil will not be joining me tonight. Let's see. Sorry, writing down writing down an idea I need later on in this. Sometimes when you get ideas, you want to make sure that you jot them down anywhere, whether it's in your phone, whether it's on a piece of paper or something like that. I got an idea for the climactic battle at the end of this book, but since I'm nowhere near the end of that, I wanted to go on ahead. It would have been something funny and something that could have. Let's just say it would be on point for history. It would be on point for history. Okay, so like I said, Phil is not joining me tonight. No. As far as Phasmophobia goes, Successful Geek, that is one of my favorite games to play in this stream. I've been playing Phasmophobia regularly on Thursday nights with Phil, a guy named Nico, and Thermowolf, aka Brandon, and we've been having a really good time with the game. Been a really good time with it. All right, back to it. Oh, nicely done, Adam. Nicely done. Oh, DB Silver Dragon. Thank you very much for that follow. Certainly do appreciate it. And thanks for joining me on this writing stream. Hope you enjoy the chill. That's what I would probably tell everybody here. I'm writing at the speed of chill. No, geek. No, you're not screwed. Means to an end. The contact event can happen on either IO or Titan. Either one should be fine. Either one should be fine. All right. Whimsy Artifice. I recognize that name. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. So nice to have you in my chat. How are you, Whimsy? Good to see you. And thank you for the follow. Whimsy, how long have you been on Twitch? I gotta know. I've gotta know how long you've been on Twitch. I'm tickled pink that you found me here. Time is a human construct. Amen to that. What is time? What is a weekend? Well, you know, if you still don't have an idea how Twitch works, I got news for you. There's a book out there. There's a book out there that can help you with this. You know, there's a book that can help you with all this. You think this is slick? You think this is slick though? Come on. This is a modest setup for me. What's nice is that, you know, being a podcaster, this is like the jump to go from podcasting to streaming. It's barely a skip, if that, barely a skip. And yes, I'm a guy, I'm straight, and I know how to skip. It's a talent. That's what happens. It's what happens when you when you live in a neighborhood as a kid, and most of the people that live in there are are girls. It just kind of happens. Well, again, that is the power of Streamlabs. That is the power of Streamlabs, and I can't confirm, but yeah. The biggest change we've had to the studio has been this right here. We basically, we being me and Pip, we basically took the wall behind me and turned that into an accent wall, and it really helps with the popping. In the original streams I had, this was just a plain white wall, and I would blend into it. I would blend to it like, you know, like anything. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? I think I need to make it pop. So somebody asked if I should have just gone ahead and made this like a green screen wall, and I'm like, I don't want to walk into an office and have one wall just be a lime green. That's a little much. So I figured I'd go with the accent. What I find interesting is that a lot of streamers I'm noticing are starting to ditch they're starting to ditch the green screen approach because of the lighting and because of everything that's involved. And the problem I had though is that as you can see, you know, I don't have a lot of space. So, you know, if I have flat stuff I can put up here, like this sign and my Destiny seals and things like that, and my running medals, you know, then I'm like, okay, I could give it a little bit of atmosphere. Give it a little bit of atmosphere. And of course, you've got Bye over here, because you can't have a stream and not have Bye. All right, back to it, everybody. Let's see. The English and smile very like a fixed. Bowie. I wish I could play some Bowie right now, but it sounds like the DMCA are really cracking down on stuff in Twitchville, and I mean, it doesn't surprise me, because I always wondered that when I first came onto Twitch. People were playing like metal, and they were playing oldies, and they were playing Rat Pack, and I'm sitting there going, how could they get away with that? And when I was writing about it, I did a little research and found out that, yeah, the RIAA, Twitch, and Spotify were all kind of doing this, well, we're just not going to worry about it. We're just going to look the other way and just kind of chill about it. And then somebody complained. The next thing you know, the DMCA started dropping. So, but what I'm working on right now, I'm actually part of the beta test team for Twitch, Soundtrack by Twitch, which is a pretty decent. It's a pretty decent player. It has a setup very similar to. Thank you. I miss you guys too. I miss you guys like you wouldn't believe. But you know what? There's some sunshine on the horizon. There is some sunshine on the horizon. You know, we got changes coming, and we've got GamerCat as always, and along with GamerCat and change, Pfizer was announcing today that they've had a 90% rate success rate currently with their vaccine in development. It's you know not. It gives me pause for you know, it gives me pause and it gives me hope, and that right now that can go a long way, much like GamerCat, until GamerCat gets in front of the keyboard. Then I can't type GamerCat. I can't type. Boop. Well, I appreciate you too. All right, how about this? How about this, GamerCat? How about I go wireless. Let me go wireless, and look, here's a spot right here where you can navigate GamerCat. How about that? Would that work? Oh, you're purring up a storm, aren't you? Okay. The only reason GamerCat does not have his usual camera is mainly because my secondary camera is set up for Pip. If Pip decides to join me for this writing session. One of the hardest things about writing and being a cat owner is when the cat demands attention. All right. DC Denny with that host. Thank you very much. How are you? How are you, DC? Good to see you, buddy. Been a while. I do enjoy. Oh, podcast. Such audio. Yeah, I know, right? Budget's close to where good now. Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm good. Still job hunting, DC. Still job hunting. But hanging in there. Hanging there. Optimistic. First time in a long time I've been optimistic. And Rick, I'm glad that this stream is bringing you joy. That is good. That is one of the things that I want from people when they come to my stream, that they take joy from it. That's what I'm looking for. And I will also say this to you, Whimsy. Do be warned, because it was the way GamerCat would park himself by the game mic, right? He would just park himself by the game mic and start purring, and that was pretty much the genesis of GamerCat. Eventually, he got his own camera. It'll happen. It'll happen. And yeah, like I said, you think this is sophisticated? Wait until you tune in on one of the Destiny streams I do. When you see one of the Destiny streams I do, that's where you see the full layout, the full overlay. I've got my GamerCat cam. I've got the cutaway for GamerCat cam. I have a few more of these.
Yes. More of that, please. More of that, my girl.
I have all the bells and whistles for my Destiny stuff, but like I said, when it comes to the writing stream, the writing stream is very chill. But this the way I've got my stream deck set up and the way I've got the overlay set up is it's very close to the layout that we use for when we do the shared desk as a podcast, and it works really, really well to being able to stream the podcast, then just taking that audio and then outputting the podcast itself. It's something I go into great detail on in the new edition of Podcasting for Dummies, which will be out this week. In fact, it will be out tomorrow. It's going to be out tomorrow. So yeah, Tuesday the 10th is going to be a very busy day. You're going to see Podcasting for Dummies, the 4th edition drop. You're going to see Destiny 2 Beyond Light drop. And while Sonny and I play Destiny 2 Beyond Light, my wife is going to be she won't be streaming it, but she will be delving into Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's her new game. She will be playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So that should be a lot of fun to watch. All right. Yeah, DC. I asked Pip if she wanted to start her own account, and on Fridays just stream once a day. But she was like, no, she was happy just streaming from my account. So she'll continue the Freaky Friday from my account. But the reason we might have to start up an account specifically for Pip is that there's been some talk since I just started Ghost of Tsushima, and the plan is that I may actually set up Pip a separate account. We put Ghost of Tsushima on that, and then I play from Pip's account. Pip streams from my account, and then it's me, Pip, and Thermal Wolf, and the three of us can play Ghost of Tsushima Legends together. So we're trying to work out some of the logistics behind that, but it could be fun. It could be a lot of fun. Oh, beautiful game, Ghost of Tsushima. Pip just finished that last week. It was absolutely amazing. Just amazing. I really think that this year's games of the year are going to be, it's going to be down to two. It's going to be down to Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. Both have extremely emotional, extremely deep, extremely gripping stories to tell. But I think one thing that The Last of Us has going for it that Tsushima does not is that The Last of Us really brought to the gaming market a lot of innovations. A lot of innovations from an accessibility point of view. And as a friend of this stream, a friend of this podcast, Steve Saylor has said, it is truly the most accessible game on the market right now. So yeah. So what I'm working on right now, is Word. I don't have Scrivener, which I usually use for writing. But to keep it simple, since I wanted to stream some of the stuff that I was working on, I wanted to go on ahead, instead of picking up a brand new version of Scrivener, I wanted to go on ahead and just keep it simple for now, work on Word, and maybe in the future do some Scrivener Scrivener tutorials for people, in case people were curious about Scrivener and what you could do with it. It's a great piece of software, Scrivener. I think it's some of the best. By the way, I gotta ask, manning the Twitch, is it Allie or Drew? I should probably ask. I should have asked. And Noob, hello. How are you? Hope you're doing well. I take it, Noob, you didn't have too many dust-ups where you were at. You didn't have to call out the SWAT or anything of that nature. I'm sure I would have heard about it, but it seems like most of the celebrations and most of what was going down was civil and okay, except for what happened in PA, where some guys okay, just making sure, Allie, just making sure. I had to ask. But yeah, Noob, I saw the story about some dudes, and they were in a Hummer and they were driving from Virginia to Pennsylvania to deliver. Yeah, they were going to deliver votes, and I'm like, okay, and an unmarked Hummer. All right, bah. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, just making sure, Allie, just making sure. But yeah, right now, just keeping it simple, working in Word, but. My other ideas was in Scrivener. Yo, Gus, the chain nerd. And yo, Jazzy, thank you for gifting a sub to the Mighty Mur. I appreciate that. I think these are some sexy words. Just trying to make the sexy words just doing a little nip, little tuck, that sort of thing. Got to make sure you got to thank your mama for a butt like that. All right. I've actually been tempted to, at some point in this stream, switch over from my steampunk to my brand new fantasy novel that I'm putting together. But I wanna wait and see how far I can get with this. I'd like to get through all of this, then give it to Pip and say, here you go, make this happen. City police handle those? Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're safe, though. Noob. For those of you who don't know, Noob is in law enforcement, and he was kind of on... Last week was kind of a tense week, because he wanted to make sure that things didn't get out of hand where he was. But it sounds like everything is under control, and Noob's safe, so I'm happy for that. We're pretty good. No, I did see that. I didn't get the alert, which I thought was a little odd, but I did see it, and thank you. Appreciate that. Ooh, pardon me. And I think the reason why nobody saw the alert the alert actually pop up is because the alert box is being currently covered up. That's what's going on. And I can actually reposition the alert box so the alert box will show up accordingly. Actually, yeah, we'll have the alert box cover me up. That might be better. Like that. Perfect test. That's the perfect test right there. Whimsy Artifice with that Twitch Prime sub. Allie could have used that Twitch Prime sub anywhere. She chose to use it here, and I appreciate that. You crushed it. You timed it so right. And you should recognize that. You should recognize that music, by the way. That music is, in fact, from Patrick Doyle from the Kenneth Branagh film Thor. That's a movie. That is a movie that I think it's needs a lot more love than it gets. The original Thor is, in my opinion, is absolutely fantastic. It truly is Shakespeare for Marvel. And I was just talking about this the other day. Thor was a hard sell for me because I've never liked Thor. I have never liked Thor in the Marvelverse. Never liked him. I always thought he was a pompous prick. And I think Branagh kind of caught on to that as well, because there's that moment where because it's Branagh, you got rain, and it's raining and it's in slow motion, and he gets to the hammer and he flicks his hair back. He flips his hair back like an arrogant cuss, and he grabs the hammer and it doesn't budge. And when it didn't budge, major kudos to Chris Hemsworth, who just freaking nails it. And yeah, you talk about somebody else who deserves a lot of love as an actor. If you really want to see Hemsworth crush it from an acting perspective, you want to see Bad Times at the El Royale. I believe that's the name of it. Chris Hemsworth basically plays a Charlie Manson style guru, and he just nails it. And I really enjoyed his performance in that. But in Thor, and it was one of the things I was talking about from yesterday. I was talking about how, I think when characters go through a transformation, it should feel organic. Now, you can still play around with tropes, but it should feel organic. It should feel like you grow to care about these people in some way, shape, or form. And I always use Thor as an example because he's just kind of an arrogant prick. And then near the end, when he's on the rooftop with Jane and they're looking at the stars, that's a very sweet little scene. And then there's this scene where he sacrifices himself, and then the hammer just comes sailing through the air on its own. Sir, this is a pet store. Yeah, I know, right? My favorite is this drink. I like it. Another crash. And it was like but when his hand comes up and grabs the hammer, and you see Jane go, "Oh my God." I mean, now I can't remember the actress that plays the sidekick, but she steals the show. When she goes, "Oh, I'm so putting this on Instagram." It's Kat Denning. Thank you very much, Allie. Thank you very much. Yeah. I loved, and I mean, I admit part of the reason I enjoy Thor so much, I am a Branagh fanboy. I admit it. I'm a Branagh fanboy. And but Patrick Doyle, just, oh God, that soundtrack, chat. I love the soundtrack to Thor. Anyway, is it Kay Denning? Okay. Either way, she's brilliant. She's brilliant in the Thor films. Computer, what is the Spanish word for mind?
Mind in Spanish is mente.
Mente. Okay. That sounds like it sounds like, chat, that it sounds like that it's mente is got an accent at the end. No cat. No cat. Okay. By the way, Steampunk Rick, that is Whimsy Artifice. Whimsy Artifice, that's Steampunk Rick. Rick, if you like my books, I highly recommend you look up Allie's book. It's called Isle of Sound and Wonder. And that's Isle, I-S-L-E, Isle of Sound and Wonder. Well, I know you listen to Tales from the Archives, Rick, but Allie up there, Allie down there, Whimsy Artifice, she is also the person that wrote A Strong Trick of Imagination and I'm blanking on it, Spiritus Sanctus for Tales from the Archives. That's Allie Grauer. Yes. On the Isle of Sound and Wonder, yeah, Alison Grauer. So that's how you recognize her work. So if you liked her stuff on Tales from the Archives, definitely check out that book. Yeah. But this sounds like, all right. So this is a little thing that I've got to do. Insert. Is it insert a symbol? No, I don't want to insert a symbol. I want to insert. I just want to get the accents right on this. There we go. No, that's not it. Symbols. Ah, okay, here we go. No. We're. This is where I hate. Oh, look at that! An anonymous cheerer with 100 biddies. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yes! More of that, please. More of that, my girl.
It's one thing I don't like about PCs versus Macs. I really have a tough time trying to find like accents and things like that. And it's gonna it might be a touch of OCD, but I get very particular if I don't have a if there's something where I can't put in an accent or something like that. I get real antsy. So I will kill time just trying to find where to put in an accent. It's a special character thing, I know. It's not object, no. Was it under no, it's not equations. I keep thinking it's under symbol. It's insert a symbol. I don't think it's a symbol though. Here you go. Nope, that's not it either. Okay. All right, I'll just go ahead and italicize it. Okay, turns attention to the music of the outsider's machinery, foreign and in a different tune to those of the Ra. His own musica de Mende. I hate it when it does that too. There's some things that Word does that kind of trigger me a little bit. I really wish it wouldn't do that, but it does. All right. I gotta do this. Hang on. I thought I got rid of that. Sorry, buddy. Give me a second. There we go. Better. Quickly surmised as security. Garburger with that follow. Thank you very much. Certainly do appreciate it. Welcome to this NaNoWriMo friendly stream. Working through some steampunk, and right now things are getting a little tense on a gangplank as Scottish security are holding their own weapons opposite of an automaton security unit. And I'm just so this part was actually written by my wife Pip, and what I'm doing is I'm just coming in and I'm just zhuzhing, as she would like to say, I'm zhuzhing it up just a wee bit. I'm zhuzhing it up, giving it that T-Marsh zhuzh, whatever that is. So no, the ministry dossier are actually the ministry dossier are short stories from the ministry universe. That Pip and I specifically wrote, and I know, right? I have a mild case of zhuzh, but no, the Books and Brawn dossier feature all the short stories that only Pip and I have written since the beginning. So a lot of the short stories you've seen in or you've heard in the podcast. Some of these stories are, first time ever in print. Then you've got, let's see, what was some of the others? But there was one story that we featured in the dossier that that had never appeared anywhere, neither in print or in audio format, and it's called "The Fault in Our Stars," and it is it's a love letter to Faulty Towers that Pip and I wrote, and we had a really, really good time writing that story. But that's what the Books and Brawn dossier is. It is the collection of short stories that only Pip and myself have written, either solo or together. So so yeah. I think so. I always think that. Absolutely. All right. What about you? What about you, Allie? Are you working on anything for NaNoWriMo, or are you just casually working on something like? See, here's the thing about the rules, and I do emphasize there are rules about how NaNoWriMo is managed. But one of the things you can't do with NaNoWriMo is pick up like what we're doing here. We're picking up a brand new book, or a book that's already in progress, and finishing it. That's not NaNoWriMo. NaNoWriMo technically is you start fresh at the beginning of November ready to write, and then you write from the beginning of November to the end of November. And by the end of November, you should have at least 50 to 60,000 words, somewhere in that category. And then the people that are responsible for NaNoWriMo, I believe they are also the same people responsible for NaNoEdmo. And NaNoEdmo is where you actually take the manuscript that you cranked out and you edit it, and that's where you start to separate the wheat from the chaff, as it were. Not for Nano. Still weeding through the final act of my first draft of an original fantasy western. I know you just moved again, trying to recuperate before I wade back into the trench. That's true. You're back in Chicago now, correct? Correct, Allie? You and Drew are back in Chicago. Yeah. Well, I won't lie. I know that what you guys went through was really hard, but I'm happy that you guys were safe. I'm really happy you guys were safe. What happens now? I mean, you guys are the good news about you and Drew is that you guys are still young. You guys can still have an opportunity to do, Disney and Universal again, and yeah, I really believe that. I really honestly do believe that. All right. Onward and upward, absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah. So, as I said earlier, Gus, that's Allie. That's Allie Grauer. You've heard me. I know you've heard me talk about her before. But Allie has written several short stories for Tales from the Archives. Spiritus Sanctus is one, and the other one was Trick a Strong Imagination. So yeah, that might be where you've heard me talk about her. And then she's also the person that wrote On the Isle of Sound and Wonder. No, I don't think you've met. I would love to get Allie and Drew out here for Balticon or something like that. That would be a blast, and it would also give Allie a chance to sell some of her stuff on sell some of her stuff in our awesome booth. But anyway, yeah. We just once we get a vaccine nailed down, maybe we can twist Allie and Drew's arm to see if they can come out here for Balticon. I think they'd enjoy it. I think they would enjoy it. All right, so the gleaming silver automatons were light, fast, and deadly. They moved quickly on their four articulated legs with a clear spherical control unit stop their narrow turret frames. They possessed no discernible front or back, which was by the prince's cunning design. Ictun designed them that way to confuse enemies. The Shining could move in any direction with the same alacrity. I think that was supposed to be atop their narrow turret frames. Okay, I've got to check with Pip because in the earlier chapters it's the Ra, R-A-H. Now she's got it as the Rua. So check with the partner when she's here. Actually, I'm just gonna go with the Ra, and then she can correct it later if she wants to. Shit, what did I just do? Oh, I just created a new document, which I didn't want. Why it does that? Where I just told it just accept it. It's not even that. It's more like Foxwine, the joys of Word on PC. You know, it's just. I would love to be able to. All right, hang on a minute. I wonder if I can do this. Can I do this? Control N. Nope. Nope. Hey, baby. How you feeling? Allie is in chat.
Allie, hey.
Yeah.
She doing a
Allie's in
riding
chat.
with us?
Yeah, she might. I don't know if she's riding. I don't know if she's riding with us all the time, or riding with us today. But I'll tell you what. Let me change up the layout. Hang tight, chat. Give me a second here.
It's standing on my computer.
Well, there's a shot.
Literally standing on it.
All
I
right.
love you too, mister. He's like, there's not
Give me a minute.
room. There's not enough room.
The magic of on the fly overlays, everybody. All right, so we got that. We go open, done, and then this happens, chat. I move this over here, and there's pop. There's Pop, everybody.
Pop.
Pop. And then
I was just looking at Benedict's Popeye arm.
How's this Popeye arm doing? There you go.
Chris Evans on one side.
That-
It's a little jiggly to be Chris Evans.
Little,
but
yeah. Now I have my light. Now I'm
He's
gonna
like,
go
"I
through the
can't
Stargate.
squeeze through the Stargate with my Popeye arm, and he's gonna stand all over your keyboard.
Nope.
No.
That's gross, Dad.
How's everyone
That's just
doing?
gross. Not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, and Pink Phoenix. Shelly just dropped in. Hi, how you doing, Shelly? Dak has just joined us. Hey, Dak.
Dak.
Good to see you, Dak.
So,
Okay, so
are our writings a thing now, are they?
I get. You know what? I think people are. Is this your thing now? You're just gonna
He's
go.
just gonna go
You're just gonna keep
circles.
going through the Stargate and going through the Stargate. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I think that's what he's gonna do.
And Gus is in chat and he's going, "Oh my God, this is the best day."
Well, it's a good way of remaining accountable, right?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So first question I've got for you, because I've been correcting it through the whole thing. In the earlier chapter, you refer to the people of the White City as Ra, R-A-H. Now in the second chapter, when they're arriving, they're the Ruah, R-U-A-H.
I think I was going with UAH.
Okay, then you can go.
Definitely something else.
Well, the reason why. Now, hang on a minute. The reason why Pip's mic is not closer is because I haven't turned it on yet. So give me a second, everybody. But I want to check something. Okay, first off, Pip, just give me a quick sound check.
About speaking.
Interesting. Oh, here we go. Sand Sailor resubbing for an entire year, 12 months. Welcome home, Sand Sailor. Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. All right, hang on a minute. Okay, try.
Speaking in.
Up here you go. Try one more time.
Speaking into the
There we
speaking
go, there we
thing,
go,
where
there we
I
go,
speak.
there we go.
Into the speaking thing.
We're gonna go on ahead and stay with that microphone because I haven't had a chance to test the.
Let's
other
just go with
microphone.
this one. That one. So, at what point are you in the story right now?
You can go back if you want and correct. I will stop where I'm at, where I'm turning Ruah into Ra. You can go back.
No, that's all right. You keep doing what you were doing. I was gonna do a little bit more of the scene where he meets the princess.
I'm right now. I'm working on the scene where he is just coming off the walkway, and but the problem is I've worked in some Spanish, and unfortunately the Spanish that I've worked in, I don't have any. There are things that need special characters, and I don't know how to do that.
But my problem is, would they be speaking Spanish? They repelled the Spanish.
Shit, I didn't even think. That.
I mean, I think
What are they speaking in South America?
their native language.
Oh God.
It depends. Who's he talking to?
He's just talking. He's just talking in particular.
Well, you can. I mean, if you want people to understand it, you just put it in italics, right? Isn't that something you can do if you're like, or you just say, speaking in his native tongue, or.
I did not even think about that. Good catch, honey.
I thought about. That's because I thought about it too. I was like,
there you go.
time for mi español.
like,
Oh shit!
no.
He would be very unlikely to be speaking the tongue of the people that they've spent their whole lives getting rid of. Though he probably, I mean, as a royal, most royals, wherever they are in the world, are multilingual.
Yeah, but keep in mind, they have been isolated.
That is true.
They have been isolated.
That is true, but they must have learned. I mean, but they've also somehow.
But they wouldn't speak it, and which we've actually done beforehand. Well,
if they want to communicate with Date.
Honey, we're going to go down that rabbit hole. Let's just go on ahead and let's just say remove. Just throw a comment into one of the sections that says remove all Spanish.
All right, I'll just make a
We
little.
just need to make sure that.
No, considering that we spent so much time learning Spanish.
Yeah, I know, right? That's.
We could, however, have a really.
Honey! We're going down the rabbit hole.
No, this is not what I'm saying. I'm saying when he gets to England and he's pretending to be from South America, someone could say, "Oh, hola," and start speaking to him in Spanish. And he's like, "I don't speak Spanish."
That's Suzanne. She could just rattle off
yeah.
and you know what she has to. You know what you have to interpret though, honey.
Yeah.
She goes. She could say in Spanish.
Como.
She could say, "Welcome to Scotland. I understand your cuisine is the best in the world, so my father says." And she says all that in Spanish.
I think you and I could actually work out how to say that.
We could, and then that's when Icton looks at him and goes, "Bueno," or he can just say, "I don't speak Spanish," and then boom, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. When you have a turn reading the Scrivener file, there's a whole thing that we put down about chapters and the monkey god itself and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, but that's where I love a good bit of comedy.
Yeah. Especially we needed in this scene. There is a
Is it getting a little dark? Is it?
What?
Is it getting a little dark? Not us.
Oh, Chain Nerd just said. So my father says, "Yeah, I'm almost done reading Curse of the Silver Pharaoh, and I want to punch the girl who keeps saying that." Well written, friends.
Well, we get the part. There's a part where you meet her father.
Oh yeah. That happens. That happens, Gus. But basically, we designed Suzanne to be the unholy union, between Veruca Salt and Draco Malfoy. And the so my father says actually comes from Draco constantly going, well, my father did this, and we were just I can't even remember how it happened, but we were talking like Suzanne, the way we expect Suzanne to say it. And then we just did a little pause, and I go, so my father says, and it just stuck, and that's
I think Icton should say, just look at her dead in the eye and go, I don't speak the language of the invaders.
Yeah, I don't speak the language of the invaders. Boom.
Scene.
Interesting. I've heard in recent times that editors and writers are aiming away from using italics for language-specific words terms because it assumes that English is the default language, but I'm not sure whether that's becoming the norm or it's just a topic of recent discourse.
Well, usually what happens if you, as far as I was aware, the usual way you do it, like, is if you introduce one word from another language. And we did this with the Maori that we used.
Yeah, we did this with Maori.
You use the word whānau, which means family, sort of a larger family group. So you use that the first time and you italicize it so that people are aware that it is not an English word. And then every other time you use it later on in the text, you do not.
Yeah, you do not. It's just only the first time.
That is what we were told last round we did with Harper, Voyager,
all through the Ministry of Peculiar Occurrences.
But that's the kind of nitty-gritty of formatting that you really get down to when you do line editing. At the first draft level, you're just trying to get it out. I mean, you'll find certain spots ahead, T, where I have just put, like, square brackets around things where I'm like...
I did.
Which generally implies that I'm in a flow and I'm like, I can't slow down right now to go and do the in-depth research.
I already did a little bit of that. Roses and orchids were the flowers that he smelled when he was putting his hand in the crate of the god because they are native to South America.
Roses are?
Roses. Roses and orchids.
Orchids I could leave, yeah. Interesting roses. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. So T likes to self-edit a bit more in the first draft. I like to just brrr onto the page. And then
Word vomit.
It's so beautiful. People have written so many poems about the creative process, and I bring it down to brrr. So, let's see what I got. Where am I? So I've made a note of that. That's another good thing about if you're using Scrivener is that you have like your manuscript broken down by chapters on sort of a bar on the left-hand side. Then you have characters, and you have like various character sheets where you can put in their physical description and their backgrounds and their conflicts, etc., etc., etc. You're going to have places like I've got the Kensington Safe House, which is where the 7 usually live. And in this case, we're into the 3rd book, so we've got lots of stuff about previous things that we've used in previous books. So we've got that all on the left-hand side. You've got notes. These are in like an expandable folders on the side, so you've got notes crunched down, and then you can pop it open. So under notes, we've got like the timeline from the previous books. We've got issues from the previous books that need to be resolved ahead. Things about also in there, like ideas for book 4, which we haven't quite decided exactly what they're going to be, but we've kind of ideas so far are Minoans, the Nubians, or the Romans. I'm leaning towards Minoans. We've also then.
Nice if we had something from Pompeii.
It could be Pompeii. Pompeii is very interesting. But
I mean, what we
were talking about that. We've done
Egyptians?
Egyptians, the people from the Turkish area.
This one is the Mayans, and now we're dealing with.
We're talking when you're talking about volcanic, like the world machine is controlling things.
Yeah.
Then the Minoans and the in Pompeii, those are all places that suffered from some bad things happened, man. Some bad things went down. I like the Minoans because they're a bit less patriarchal. Shall we say, as far as what we know about them. Also bulls, and the so we're just spitballing. Important thing when you're writing is to, if you get those ideas, just get them down. Doesn't mean you're wedded to them or anything. And then so I've got notes, and then I've got research, which is the really good thing where you can pull in images or websites or all sorts of things. So I've got things like information stuff on the White City, or La Ciudad Blanca in the Spanish language, Victorian slangs, a bit about Scottish brogue, some pictures of actual Onslow Square in Kensington, which is where the kids are hiding. A bit about the history of Anglo-Indian children, which Henry is Anglo-Indian. A bit about Victorian spirituality, because we've had that crop up a bit. And then we've got some stuff about Edinburgh Castle, which I added yesterday. So, yeah, Scrivener is great. I don't think I've fully harnessed the power of Scrivener yet, but yeah, it's getting there. But it is so nice to be... Woo! So nice to be writing again. So I thought, I was talking to T, and I was like, I think usually I do a 1,000-word writing sprint, which is half an hour. But since I want to hang out with you guys, I thought, no, what I thought I would do is I'd do 500-word sprints.
How's your head?
It's feeling fine now. I took a couple of ibuprofen, and I got some coffee, and.
But you got a coffee? Oh, we got the iced coffee. Got it.
I still got a little caffeine in the system. Right. We just fun to write in this world again. So let me see.
It is. It really is. I was pretty jelly, Chet, that I didn't get a chance to do the second book. But that was because at the time of Pip doing the second book in the series, I was knee deep in my first solo manuscript for quite some time. Pip said, "I want you to finish that first." And ironically, while we were getting back into this, I've got an idea for another solo title, which I may actually spend the last hour of this writing.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, if we...
I know.
How many words have you done today? Are you gonna...
It's hard to say with
because you're editing backwards and forwards. Yeah, when you're editing it like that, it's like, oh, I just lost 10 words. I just deleted 10 words.
The funny thing is, what I feel like I do is, so Pip's basically got, like, I think, let me just see here. I'm just gonna go back and look. Yeah, Pip does prose really well. Pip does prose and description really well, but
It's my English literature training.
Here's the thing, and I've gotten on her about this before. I'm like, you could break this up with some dialogue, because we had this one whole page of description, and they're about to face off with some automatons, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm putting in some dialogue.
Well, sometimes also I do that, like, I get that in the second round. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't mind. I'm not hugely addicted to the show don't tell. Yeah. I think in the vast majority of cases, you should show not tell.
Right.
But there are some times where you're like
this one. So here's what I go.
Where you have to tell. Like, you don't want to say, oh, I'm going to tell you about the 2 days when they were asleep on an airship. Exactly. You've got to go, they spent 2 days asleep on an airship. You know what I mean?
But she's got this thing coming up where the ARGs, which is the Automaton Royal Guard.
Ooh, I like that.
That's why she writes with me. But the ARGs basically are facing off with... well, she doesn't have them facing off with anybody, but they suddenly become active, and I'm like, okay, we've got to give them a reason to become active. So here's how I changed it up for you, baby. The rattle of the shiny mechanicals and gasps from his entourage drew his attention away. Imposing men that Iktun quickly surmised as security held their rifles at the ready, a sight that triggered his own ARGs. The gleaming silver automatons were light, fast, and deadly, moving quickly on articulated legs, a clear spherical control unit atop their narrow turret frames. The ARGs possessed no discernible front or back by the prince's cunning design. The ARGs could move in any direction with the same alacrity. Even Dante, who had seen Iktun's shining mechanics before, flinched as the gleaming green lights of the units scanned the Scotsman from head to foot.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, that is a great way of showing them actually doing things, because I was like, they are awesome!
And then I got this. Just give me an excuse, you wee metal beastie. One of the guards muttered, his finger tapping above his rifle trigger. I wouldn't, good sir. Pakal replied gently. The metal alloy used in our ARGs have been treated to be impenetrable. Your intended shot could find its way to me, your ambassador here, or our prince. His head inclined slightly as he added, and we would not want that, would we? Mm-hmm. So instead of now you see this swapped out Pip's description of the alloy being, a secret that only they had, and it made it impenetrable. And I said, "Now we're going to do that with dialogue. I'm sorry, we got to break this up.
Yes,
so like I said,
that is the joy of working with somebody else.
Pip creates the scene, but I make them talk. Or the other time where I will hand the manuscript to Pip and I'll say, Pip, make this pretty, and Pip will hand me a manuscript and say, T, make them fight. And
here they are, make them fight.
Yeah, and I see
and
brackets
then they
going,
fought,
and then they fight, T. I'm like, okay, perfect.
Well, we do have a couple of.
I think I said ARGs quite a bit much in there, but we can fix it.
Editing.
As such. Let's just go.
Yeah, so
ARG stands for Automaton Royal Guard.
Yes, Automaton Royal Guard.
Yeah, ARGs.
So I should say that in the manuscript, I'm trying to sell Scrivener here, but it really is very useful. So in the manuscript, Scrivener is really good if you're using multiple points of view. And so each of these chapters, I've got different coloured flags used depending on whose point of view they're in. And then, we're trying to sort of... This is actually... I don't say that we plot in a traditional sense, but we don't, completely pants it either. So we've got some chapters where we're saying,
Allie likes the
Monkey Wrench does that. Yes. I use the flags, which signify I've finished that chapter, or at least got to the end of it, and then I use the gear icon to show which one I'm currently working on, and then all the others are with the little pencil icon, so that people know so that I know that I need to rewrite those. So we've kind of mapped out, I guess, the broad strokes of this story. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to read you the broad strokes because they're a little bit of a giveaway.
They're quite broad.
They're quite broad, you know. They're just there's a couple of Harry chapters which I'm not. Have we ever done chapters from Harry's point of view? I don't think we have.
No.
So we're going to have to figure out how we're going to do the chapters about Harry, because this story starts to dovetail into what happens in Phoenix Rising. Right. Because if you've read Phoenix Rising, you know what happens to Harrison Thorne. And so in that story, we kind of covered the end bit. But in this story, you will see sort of more the engine that's pushing him towards his fate. Thanks, Kat. Yeah. Right. I've got to write this story about... I'm going to work on this little bit where Icton meets the princess, who did have a name, and I thought I'd put her in here, but maybe I haven't. Because I did actually find one of Queen Victoria's granddaughters, who was about the right age. Now I have to try and find her again, because I want to put that in my research folder. If I can vaguely remember what was her name. Have we got anybody that's doing Nano in chat?
I did ask Allie. She is not, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's not working on something.
No.
And if she's working with us, all the better.
We've never really done Nano.
No, we've never done Nano because
we have supported it and talked to people about it.
It's kind of hard to do Nano when you constantly got a gamer cat running through the Stargate.
He's just going round and round and round right now.
Oh, hey, cat, no!
What's he doing? Standing on the...
He just tried to write a passage.
He did. I was trying to figure out which daughter it was. So this book is set in... It's always good to remember that. Where's the timeline?
Fox is, but they are a night rider. Hard to do Nano when kitchen of your new apartment is being gutted. Yes, that's true. That is very true.
You'd have to have some loud music.
But
on
I mean,
that.
I don't know if Gus is doing it. Usually, the problem is that we already have like ideas or works in
yeah.
And this has been. It's like a Looney Tunes episode here, noise-wise. I believe it. See, here's my, and I've said this before. This is my only problem with NaNoWriMo.
Yeah.
And then on that note, I'm going to probably take a quick break, get some more water, and then start on the other idea that I wanted to work on. Hey,
sounds a good idea.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Sometimes I see people that use NaNoWriMo as their once a year excuse to write. And I've always been of the mindset, NaNoWriMo is great. Don't get me wrong. NaNoWriMo is great.
It's great because you got a whole community of people all doing the same thing.
But it's a bit like, to me, the people who only write once a year, it's a bit like people, since I can use this analogy since I've started running again, it's the people who say, I'm going to run a half marathon, but I'm only going to train in the month of November. And that's the only time they run. And then for the rest of the year, they complain about why they're gaining weight. And my thoughts on that are, look, NaNoWriMo is great to get the juices flowing and to get yourself going. But the thing that I truly believe in my heart of hearts is Nano should be that. It should be something that kicks you off as a writer. But do not forget that there are 11 other months in the year. I'm not saying you should write a novel every month. I mean, good Lord, you'd burn out by the time March rolled around. But my thought is you should be writing year round. And like I said, I know people who wait until Nano, and I don't get that. I'm not now. Don't mistake what I'm saying as being a la-di-da, no more teen scans for me, mates. I want to play the grand piano. What? I mean, it's not that. I'm not doing that. But I am saying is that, you know, as Fox has said and as Allie has said, writing is a year-round thing, and you should take advantage of that year-round thing. And what I think Nano should be is, okay, this is an extreme, like, this, you know, it's like, okay, I just finished doing, like, putting it back in the runner's terms, I just finished doing an Ironman race.
It's like, let's do a marathon in November.
Or a Spartan race. Now I want to do maintenance, so I'm going to do half marathons and maybe a couple of 5Ks. And the 5Ks would be the short story. But your half marathons should be your next novel. And once I finish this chapter, honey, I'll put this back up on.
Yeah, and then I'll put it into this. Hey, Panic.
But one thing I'm gonna do
Panic, come in.
I'm gonna
I just wanted to check with you on a timeline thing.
What about it, honey?
So we've got 1893 October is when the Silver Pharaoh is.
Right.
Then November is the Mystery of Emerald Flame. So I think that the Secret of the Monkey God is January 1894. Because later in that year, October is when Harry has his incident. Now, do you think, or we could set it a little later, but we want to leave room for book 4.
The events of book 3 have to happen very closely behind book 4 because they all think Liam is dead.
That's right. So it's more like December.
Yeah, I was thinking December because you said November, right?
Yeah, it was November. Okay.
I mean, there's no reason we could say December. We could either say early. We can say early December. We could also say. We could also put this immediately after. You know, kind of have it be a bit like with the way books 2 and 3 lead in together, and 3 and 4. Books 2, 3, and 4 all happen like within weeks. Of
so Harry's situation, we'll call it. This is like the beginning of Harry's situation. The very seed of Harry's situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that.
And so then book 4, was thinking about it. So, I mean, October is sort of nebulous. It could be, I was thinking it was probably going to be in the fall.
Yeah. Oh, and Gus, just so you know, Allie has previous experience being a queen because she was once a queen, always a queen, but she was the Queen of Spain in medieval times. So I'm just saying.
So I'm thinking book 4 will be in the spring of 1894.
Sounds good. And that's where I think book 4 is where we really concentrate on Harry's demise.
Yes. So this will just be the seed.
This will be the seed. This will definitely
by March, April it'll be.
He's completely off the rails.
That's part of... when you're starting a series off, it's all just like free form and you can do whatever you like. And then when you have to fit things into a fairly large series and with other characters and stuff, there is some complication in that. There's some good stuff too, because you can bring people in and have people go, oh, I recognize that character, I know who that is. We managed to slip Eliza into the Silver Pharaoh without many people guessing who she was that I heard of. Yeah, I've heard of the snowflake writing method. I've dabbled in all of them. The Save the Cat, which is more often used for screenplays, but also writers use it quite a bit. The 3-act structure, all of that sort of thing. I don't know. At this stage, it feels kind of organic. But in this series, it's also we're dealing with characters that we've spent a lot of time with, like the Ministry first book was 2011 and we'd written it like 2 years before maybe, so it's at least 10 years that we've been writing. Jeez, I just realized that's quite a thing. So we know this world pretty well and we love these characters, and so or the when we go on, we have a writing retreat. I don't know if we're going to do it next year, but we managed to get it in just before the pandemic this year, and a lot of people use the Pomodoro method. It's the one about the tomato where you work in, is it 10-minute shifts? All I remember is one of our fellow writers had the little tomato that she that used. Yeah, Pomodoro, that's what it is. 25 minutes. Okay, yeah. Which I think is pretty good because I can write 1,000 words in roughly like half an hour. So that's somewhat similar. I use I keep wanting to say ride or die. Write or die. Tomato. Tomato. El tomato. So yeah, those. It's weird. When I started writing, I had, I don't know, I want to say writer's block. It wasn't writer's block. It was more like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what works for me. And I tried a variety of different things. I've tried full-on pantsing, which is, just diving in. That didn't completely work. And then I tried full-on plotting everything out, little cards, sticking on things, colour pens, all of that sort of stuff. And that wasn't me either, because I liked to have a bit of that creative spark, that exciting things where you're like, yeah, oh, and your brain makes those connections. And that's really the magical fun bit for me. So now I've kind of settled into a sort of what they call discovery method of writing, which is there's a lot of wiggle room for new developments and new characters and all sorts of things, but there's also like a grand plan at the end. So I generally start off with a story, and it's I know the ending, I don't know how I'm getting there. Elizabeth Moon, I'm going to totally name drop. About 11 years ago, Elizabeth Moon came to New Zealand, and she was one of the guests of honour at an event. And I was the New Zealand guest of honour as writer. And got to go out to dinner with her, which was cool. And she's talking about how she wrote, and she was saying, my method is a discovery method, where I know that, say, I'm driving from DC to New York, but I don't know how I'm going there. I don't know what roads I'm going to be using. Am I going to be using, A roads, B roads, the freeway? Am I going to drive through all the little towns? And I was like, oh, so there's a name for that. So there's a couple of different names, but I usually call it a discovery writer. And that really suits me the best. It lets me have the security of planning, but also the joy of the sort of the freedom of being able to process those little sparky moments where something pulls you in different directions, and you can still be surprised by your work. I think that is. There, I've explained it. But again, there's thank you, Ali. But then again, there is no one way to write, because there's no one particular writer, and I think the whole process of being a writer is discovering what works for you. And when you read a writing book, or when you hear a writer talk at an event and they say, well, this is the way, and you must do it this way. We are not Mandalorians. There is no way to be a writer. You just find something that's comfortable for you, that works best for you and your personality and how you process things. So, see, yeah, exactly, Ali. I've dabbled in everything, as far as writing goes. And, yeah, Ali's good. Ali's good people. I'm looking forward to, maybe there's some hope that we'll all be together as writers and sit and ignore each other in a cafe again, because that's what writers are really good at, sitting in a place together and ignoring each other.
Fun.
But it's a community ignoring,
Community ignoring, yeah.
So yeah,
I was that beautiful tweet, by the way, Ali. I said, Ali was in here for a while. I was like, okay, hang on a second. Is this Ali or is this Drew? And you're like, it's Ali. I'm like, oh, okay.
Either is wonderful.
Either is wonderful. Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. So it's just.
As a matter of fact, we meant to say there's an actor, Ali.
Oh yeah.
That's in this movie called Prospect on Netflix.
And man,
spit an image of Drew.
Is Drew getting some independent film work? Well, I think it was a few years ago now that was created. So,
if Drew was working with Pedro Pascal, we'd know.
Yeah, you would tell us, right?
Movie is called Prospect. It was on a.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, but it originally premiered on a on a net on like an
They-
online network called Dust, I think it's called.
And I think that was the production company, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Hi, Kat. Good to see you.
Yeah, yeah. They're all in spacesuits, generally considering, but it looked like we were like, is that Drew?
Yeah,
That looks really like Drew. Hey, Canterbury. Oh, home and inside. Welcome back to safety, right?
Huzzah.
We did our big excitement for the week, which is grocery shopping. And
So let me throw something out here, chat. Would you all like me to read the opening chapter of the new idea, the new work in progress that I'm working on?
oh, you should do that. You should do that while I'm looking for this
Would you all like that?
Victorian princess.
I'm not doing it as an ego thing. I really want to know. I really want to know if this is a rabbit hole worth going down. But I wanted to get some. Yeah, what I saw of it was very good. What I saw of it was very, very good, Rick. It was very good. But would you all be interested in that sort of thing? Yeah, live audiobook. And for those of you who are just joining us, thank you very much for joining us on this. This is only our second writing. I have been streaming for 3 years, and I've always said I'm not a gamer that writes. I'm a writer that games. But the thing is, I've never done writing.
It's nice. Before. It's nice to.
And this has been kind of fun. So I think at least we're going to give it a shot in the month of November. And I'll tell you what, since you guys really want to hear this, I'll go on ahead and I'll do this. So as you heard me say earlier, I'm currently working on a steampunk young adult novel with Pip. But I've got another novel in the works, and I literally started it last week. Was it last week or was it this week? It was this week, wasn't it?
I don't know. What is
No,
time?
it was last week. No, it's time.
What is time?
It's time. What is time? But it was last week that I started this, and the
1878.
the working title of this. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. So I'll go on ahead and I'll read to you this new book I'm working on. Let me switch up the work in progress so you can see it, and then I'll go ahead and give you a quick reading of this brand spanking new idea of mine, and I'd love to know what you think of it when I'm done. Let's see. Let me go ahead and zoom out a bit. Ooh, I don't want to do that.
I'm still hunting down a princess.
Okay, I think that might be better. Okay. Where are you? There it is. Okay. Ooh.
1882. I should have written down this princess. Now I'm gonna have to find her.
All right. So here we go. This is this is the new idea I'm working on. I'll go on ahead and turn down the music a little bit. Actually, the music seems to be okay. So here we go. Chapter 1. Big G. That's the name he's known by. Yeah, okay, it suits him. He knows that. It doesn't mean that he particularly likes it. Maybe it's that feeling of how it makes him a caricature or a cartoon. He is a serious guy, and his wife complains that he takes things a little too seriously. He hears her say to him, "It wouldn't hurt if you lightened up a little, G. You couldn't have an ulcer at this rate." He couldn't help his nature. It was the way he was raised. It was the doctrine instilled by his time in the military. He is an intense guy. He knows this. Kids, he had hoped, would have softened up that exterior, but there's no sign of that edge blunting. Right now, though, he reminds himself that this is not the time, place, or individual to show resistance towards. One wrong look, a misinterpreted gesture, any sort of attitude, and he'd be fortunate if he walked out of here with his legs intact. The door opening at the far end of the warehouse causes him to start. For fuck's sake, that sounded loud. Genvect takes in a long, deep breath of the cold air. and his senses scream at him to exhale. He smells oil, rust, water, and metal scrap. He makes the distinction between the steel and the iron, can pick up the sharp tang of aluminium, and isolate the stink of plastic. He would have quickly exhaled, but Ganvik did not want to give his appointment any kind of tell. He wants to be seen just sitting in the light of a single overhead lamp, waiting to have a chat. No big deal, nothing of concern. He lets out his breath as slowly as he took it, and shifts his large shoulders ever so slightly. Hopefully the gesture went unnoticed. He glances down at his hands that could easily envelope the man's head. One twist, and he would be dead. Humans were fragile, delicate creatures. Big G! Gentleman's trench coat was neither leather or cloth. Cashmere. His tie is Burberry, or Salvatore Ferragamo. No doubt the kerchief in the suit's jack pocket square matched. On extending his hand, the dim light glints off the gold of his pinky ring and cufflinks. Ganvik catches the deep, rich, earthy scent of onyx. A primal desire to grab the bauble swells inside of him. Relax, he whispers to himself. Different time, different place. Just be cool and be gentle when shaking his hand. Heard a lot about you. All good, I hope. And Ganvik grins, not smiles, grins, as he carefully takes Marco Petrelli's hand. I really appreciate the time you're setting aside for me. The handshake breaks and Petrelli opens and closes his hand. Whoa! His firm handshakes, and then there's that. He glances to one of the two men flanking him. Bet this guy would give you a run for the money, Vito. Couple of rounds in the ring? No. Not me, Mr. Petrelli. Turns out I may have some solid bread boxes here, but I've got 2 left feet. Really? Couldn't stay fast on the feet? I could barely handle my own first dance at my wedding. I still box for health and all. Yeah, I got no doubt. You being an orc, you seen some shit. Probably got into a couple of tussles, huh? That's part of your nature or something like that? Ganvik could feel that nature of his wanting to rip this human's head off. Yeah, something like that. But look at us, being all vegetable soup and getting along. Doing business together like professionals. Petrelli stopped halfway to his seat and looked up at Ganvik. That's what we are here, right, Big G? Professionals? Absolutely, Mr. Petrelli. Mr. Petrelli. What is that, Mr. Petrelli, eh? That's my father. Come on, Marco. Ganvik nods. Okay, Marco. So, you needed to talk to me. Sounds serious. To business. This was why Ganvik had called in this favor. Yes, it is. Petrelli motions to Ganvik with both hands. A friendly, congenial smile offered as he inclines his head to him. Talk to me, Big G. I don't have to tell you how rough things have been. This president has been driving the country into the ground. This goddamn energy crisis, lines at the gas station. Oh, don't get me started. I'm always sending these guys out to make sure the car's gassed up. Those fucking Arabs. Fucking thorns on our side, right? Ganvik is not accustomed to being interrupted. Nobody in his outfit did that. His own crew certainly knew if you cut him off and he was in the middle of making a point, that is a quick way to earn a backhand. Still, this was Marco Petrelli. Oh, I know. I do know. What I'm saying is people just aren't gambling like they used to. Even my reliable marks, they're just not putting down the bets they used to. People are pinching the pennies and pinching them hard enough to make them bleed. Really? Petrelli asked. Making them pennies bleed, huh? What a terrible analogy to use. You know what I mean, Marco. They just aren't playing the odds as they used to. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to curb my own enthusiasms. My bookie's trying to encourage me. I tell you, he's a terrible influence. Petrelli chuckles, and Ganvik joins him. Petrelli nods. And Ganvik feels the prickle of heat under his shirt ease a bit. Hey, I get it. Trying times and all that. I mean, it was tough when I dug into my own account for that $200,000 you came to me about. Thing is, I did this because I believe in you, Big G. I believe in helping you with this investment. But I was trusting you to make good on this debt. You did assure me it wouldn't be an issue. Ganvik held up a beefy hand. I know. And I'm still good. What about that junk you're selling? The prickle returns. How the fuck did he know about that hustle? You okay with that? I know that some of the bosses are not comfortable about that enterprise, and I get it. That can be some rather messy business, especially when people are trying to clean up their act. Thing is, Big G, it's all about the business, right? It's all about the numbers, what's coming in and what you're earning. Petrelli leans into the light and he smiles in a way that tests Ganvik's patience. He feels like the man is patronizing him. Here's what a lot of people don't know. The bosses say we don't use junk, but they are. Cocaine, heroin, whatever. They get so high off shit they could pass for decorations at Studio 54. Fucking ridiculous. Fucking hypocritical. Junk is good business, though. Provided you're not getting high on that shit you're supposed to be selling. And nice thing about the return customers is they will do anything for that next fix. His second was behind him, and he was good. They had fought together at Suros Valley and could easily cut opponents down with his axe. But Khal would get only one shot, and perhaps one guard. That will leave Petrelli, and Ganvik would make that quick. And the second guard. Either way, a pointless, meaningless death. That smile, however. Business is good, he admits. I have made a reputation in keeping people happy. I've heard that too, Big G. Gambit looks at his hands for a moment, his fingers templing against one another. He knew going to Petrelli would be a risk, but high risk, high reward. And so long as Petrelli remains unaware as to why he needs the investment, all the better. The loan should have been resolved last week, but business had not just been bad at his betting house. Ganvik's own bets at the track were utter failures. Clearing his throat, Gambit begins. I just need another week. 2 at the most. Petrelli nods, that patronizing smile brightening. 2 weeks. 200,000 is not chump change, and your people have vouched for me, right, Marco? Right, Petrelli returns, giving a soft chuckle as he did before. I won't let you down, Marco, by the oath of Tarnush. Whoa! Oath of Tarnush! Oh, you sure you want to go there? Hey, Bibble, thanks for that raid, buddy. I appreciate it. Let me back up a few lines. I won't let you down, Marco, by the oath of Tarnush. Whoa! Oath of Tarnush! You sure you want to go there? Ganvik snaps his finger and points to Petrelli. I'm your guy, Marco. This time, Ganvik laughs, and Petrelli joins him. They both nod. Ganvik feels his shoulders drop slightly. He places his hand before him on the table, continuing to nod. Big G, Petrelli starts, patting Ganvik's beefy hand with one of his. I'm going to tell you something that I really need you to take to heart. You have that fucking 200 in my hands tomorrow. Gambit stopped nodding. Petrelli's smile is still bright and wide as he waits. Tomorrow? The smile Petrelli wears fades as he continues. If you ain't got the 200 in my fucking hands tomorrow, and his grip tightens on Ganvik's massive hands, I'll break every fucking bone in your body. Before Gambit can even respond, Petrelli adds, I swear to my kids. A dryness suddenly grips his throat. He took an oath on his children. On his children. You understand? Petrelli asks. Yeah, the orc manages. Yeah, Marco. Petrelli's eyes are cold. Ganvik recognizes his regard. This is how Gambit looked at his prey before bringing his axe down. I'm going to ask this again, Big G. You understand? Yes, Mr. Petrelli. Petrelli gives Gambit a quick slap on his meaty left cheek. See you tomorrow. What do you think? I can tell Nerd Girl loves it. So I'm not gonna lie, chat. This is what happens when you spend a considerable amount of time with your wife rewatching The Sopranos.
Well, you've always loved
Well, I've always loved the Mafia.
It turns out your mother also has loved the Mafia.
So my mom has a hell of a story. And Bibble, again, thank you very much for that raid.
Get mango smoothies.
Get those mango smoothies.
You got to go to Jersey to
Gotta
get
go
the
to
mango.
Jersey to get those mango smoothies. So here's a story to tell. Angela, I just want a mango smoothie. I'll get to that story in a second. That's another story. But so here's never forget.
Never forget mango smoothies.
So so this is before I came into play. My dad would take my mom.
They were newly married, so they were young.
Yeah, they were newly married.
So that must have been like early 60s?
Early 60s, pre-Wayne, pre-brother. And so this is early 60s, like 60, maybe 60, well, wait, there's 4 years. So between, I want to say, 61 and 63. My dad is umpiring, and he's umpiring in Jersey. He happens to see my mom from a distance, surrounded by all these dudes. And they're all wearing the gold chains, they're all wearing the pinky rings, and they're all wearing fine suits, and it's summer. And it turns out that he finds out from some of these guys, one of the guys goes up to my dad and says, "Is your wife going to be okay?" And they're like, "Why?" And he goes, "Those are the local mob bosses." But my dad looks over there, and my mom has these guys howling. They're all laughing and just having a grand old time. So my dad is half paying attention to the game and half paying attention to my mom, who is apparently surrounded by the local mafia. Game wraps up. My dad's going over to where my mom is sitting, and she's not there anymore. And he gets a little worried. Then he realizes they're all by the car. It's my mom, surrounded by like 4 mob dudes. Again, gold chains, pinky rings, the works. And they're all on the ground, feeling around. And Dad walks up and goes, "Nancy, what's going on?" And one of the guys says, "Oh, how you doing, Wayne? Look, Nancy here. Great job, by the way. You take care of this girl. This is the way my mom tells the story, too. She lost the keys, so we're all helping her find the keys, okay? Don't worry about it. Forget about it. We're fine. We're just going to find the keys, eh?" And my dad is standing there while my mom and these mob guys are all on the ground.
They're older. They're probably in their 50s and 60s,
Yeah, and they're all on the ground because they love Nancy. She's a good girl. Good girl, Nancy. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Wayne. Oh, and of course I add on this little embellishment, but you know something, Wayne, next time you're heading around a hand plate, tighten up that strike zone just a little bit. Don't worry about it.
Your mum also says that they recommended some really great Italian restaurants.
Yeah, you go down to Angelo's, you go down to Dominic's, you go to all these different places. And by the way, if you're curious, yeah, make sure to say hi to Jimmy. He's buried in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
apparently they were cracking that up.
They were cracking that up. Now, the mango smoothie story
that comes from Jersey.
That also comes from Jersey, and we actually passed that one on to Allie. So basically, this was after Steampunk World's Fair.
Yes, and we were driving back.
And this was Pip's first or second year in the United States. I want to say it was your first year in the United States.
Maybe. It was early.
It was early on. And Pip and I, Pip and I are getting ready to get on the road, but Pip was like, "Oh, that was so much fun, but I really want to feel like, I don't feel like I had the full Jersey experience." She actually said those words. And I said, "Hun, what do you expect? We went to a convention, and we were in Edison, New Jersey for this." And we said, I said, "Look, there's only so much you can do, but, maybe next con we'll be able to get out and do something." But before we left Edison, we went to a Smoothie King, and then we were going to get sandwiches from Subway to go. So we went to the Smoothie King, we picked up a couple of smoothies, and then we went over to Subway. As we're walking out of Subway, so Subway's here, and on the other side of this little strip mall is Smoothie King. A Toyota Celica pulls up, and it's one of those Toyota Celicas that I'm not exaggerating, Chad, because Pip was there and she saw it too. Had spinners. 2 women get out of the back of the car. One of them's carrying a baby, and then 2 dudes get out of the front. And the 2 dudes get out front. Both of them are wearing gold chains, and this one dude.
What do you call them? Wife beaters? I don't know why you guys.
One of them was wearing a white beater. The other one was wearing a t-shirt. But the dude who came out of the driver's seat was wearing a wife beater. So, one of the dudes has got the cap on backwards.
And they lean up against the wall like 5 feet away from the car.
Right. Except for the driver. Now, his buddy, he didn't have a hat, but he had the slick back hair. And the guy who was driving the car would not leave the car. He literally, if he had to walk away from the car, he kept a hand on it. So he would always have some type of contact with the car. Again, Pip was there. She saw this whole thing go down.
For once, you're not exaggerating, yeah.
And he's in the middle of a conversation, and he suddenly does this. He's like looks at the window and he goes, "What? What?"
The window's open.
Huh?
The window is open.
No, it was a plate glass window. Remember, it was a giant plate. He's talking to her through the window.
I thought my recollection was that it was one of those windows that was sort of tilted.
No. It was a plate glass window, and she's talking to him through the window, and he's like, "What? What? I told you what I wanted, Angela. I wanted a mango smoothie." And he's shouting this at the plate glass window. Well, then the door opens, and it's the woman with the baby. She's got the baby in one arm. She's leaning out of the door of the Smoothie King going, "Tony, there's like 3 or 4 mango smoothies. Which one do you want?" And he goes, "I don't care. I just want a mango smoothie. Just give me a mango smoothie, Angela. That's all I'm asking for. Just a mango smoothie."
And I looked at you.
We're watching this go down. And I turned to Pip, and Pip looks at me and goes, "I have had the New Jersey experience.
We can leave now."
We can leave now. We get in the car, and all the way down from Edison, New Jersy to Virginia.
I want a mango smoothie.
Look, Angela, I told you, Angela, just give me a freaking mango smoothie. And that has become the rally cry between me, Pip, Allie, and Drew. And I'm just waiting for that one-act play that Allie and Drew write together.
We call Mango Smoothie.
It's called Mango Smoothie, and it's going to happen where Drew's going to be like, "What? I told you I wanted a mango smoothie." And it's just going to be reoccurring throughout the entire one-act.
That makes Jersey... I do a poor New Jersey accent, but I feel confident in doing it because I just summon the spirit of Tony.
The spirit of Tony.
And I'm like...
freaking mango smoothie.
And I just need to say Mango Smoothie. And...
Oh my God!
Speaking of on The Sopranos, we noticed that apparently James Gandolfini had an accent coach.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that, but yeah, he had an
I
accent.
wonder if it was Tony from what was it called?
No. Smoothie King.
Smoothie King.
Right.
From the Smoothie King.
From the Smoothie King. But I mean, that's the thing is that
it's begging to be a TikTok.
It's begging to be a TikTok.
So you're right, Allie. It is.
Amen to that.
Smoothie King. I mean, every time we don't have a. Do we have a Smoothie King?
We just got a Smoothie.
We just got a Smoothie King a couple of years ago, and now every time we go
just
in
got a
there,
Smoothie King.
Sonny goes in there and goes, "Just give me a mango smoothie."
Yeah, that's Sonny's thing. Sonny's like mango smoothie.
I did, Steampunk Rick, think that I was perhaps watching some sort of interpretive theater, some sort of.
Pip actually thought I'd arranged it. Pip thought I'd arranged for it, and I said,
"Come on.
Forget about it."
But then you got to tell him about the Bronx.
So
T was cruel.
I was
and almost
cool.
got me
This
killed.
was kind of mean for me to do. It was mean for me to do, but there was a we were in New York for a
Writer's Digest. That was the Writer's Digest.
Writer's Digest. And
pull one out for the homie.
But it was for the Writer's Digest, and we decided we were going to go to a nice place, and the guy that we got for the waiter was 100% New York. 100% New York, and he was from the Bronx. I wish I could remember this guy's name. All I just remember was he was from the Bronx, and this is why I remember, because Pip was like, "This guy is amazing. Now I just really want to go to Brooklyn." I'm like, "Honey, that's bad. You just said he's from the Bronx, not Brooklyn." And he gets back, and I said, "You're gonna have to coach my wife a bit because my wife said thought you were from Brooklyn. When I heard you very clearly say," he goes, "Yeah, I'm from the Bronx, which means now I'm gonna have to kill you." and
he was.
Like,
he was doing a shtick, but it was great shtick.
Yeah, and he goes. So here's the difference. Here's what you're gonna do. So you guys are visiting. Here's what I want you to do.
And we've looked this place up.
We did look it up. So you're going to go to the Bronx. I want you to find this place called Dominic's. You're going to walk in. You're going to see some bullet holes in the far end of the wall. Don't worry about it.
Some guys are going to be sitting behind. They're going to look at you. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. They're just going to turn out wrong. So the guy's going to come up to you. He's not going to have a menu. And you're going to say, "Can I have a menu?" And they're going to be like, "You're going to want the linguine." And I go, "Well, what if I feel like spaghetti?" He goes, "No, you're going to want the linguine."
Have the linguine.
He was just on a tear, and I'm like, "Please tell me this guy does stand up," because
in New York he could have.
Oh my god,
he
the
could
guy
have.
was amazing. Guy was amazeballs.
Yeah.
So
he was he was like, "So I've given you the bill, but if you want to run out of it, just leave me a little something on
just leave us something by the plan, and it'll be fine. You know, a little nudge, a little wink, we're good. That was amazing. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on chapter 2 of this, and this is gonna be raw and unedited, if you will. But yeah, so this idea. So I'm calling the series Fear City. At least that's the
working
title.
title.
Working title. But I'm picturing that there are going to be 3 books in this series: Fear City, New York, Fear City, Las Vegas, and Fear City, DC. And what I'm doing is I'm actually basing this off of first there was the whole mainlining of The Sopranos, which was pretty epic. But then there was a documentary that I've talked about before on this stream, and it's on Netflix, and I highly recommend that you watch it. It's called Fear City, New York versus the Mob, and it's about how in the late 70s, early 80s, how the FBI took out the mob. And what I want to do is I want to write something like that, but I want to write it where orcs and elves are involved, and it's a marriage of technology and magic. So it's urban fantasy. It's going to be based a lot. There's going to be a lot of lore in it, and as you can see, I've got it to where the mafia basically have a magic that the elves and the orcs pretty much have no understanding of it. They have no understanding of it, and I'm basically giving the mafia magic abilities, which you're about to see in this title in this chapter if I get into it far enough. And I went and I did a rewatch of Fear City. It's a 3-part docuseries, and find it on Netflix. It's called Fear City: New York versus the Mafia, or New York versus the Mob. I will give you a fair warning though. There's one tragic thing about it. When it comes to taking down the mob, and this is something that you should kind of know about the final days of the golden era of the mafia. One of the people that was instrumental in taking down the mob was a young, bright star in
so full of promise, and he was a bright, brand new district attorney in the Southern District of New York City. A young man by the name of District Attorney Rudy Giuliani. And it's heartbreaking to look at Giuliani today and go, you took down the mob? And when you see the clips of him back then, you realize that young Giuliani would have probably gone after older Giuliani. Now, they did have one thing in common. Young and old both like the camera and the attention.
Oh, yeah.
Because
he's
always had that. He's always had that,
yeah. He sells it. But yeah, just be ready for that. Elven Mafia. Well, here's the thing, though. I'm not actually making I'm not putting the elves in the mob, and also the orcs. I'm not making them all dumb as bricks.
No.
I'm actually going to try to work a little bit that because
that's always the trope is that the elves become instantly arrive and become
they're all pretty, they're all beautiful. But one thing that I think is worth mentioning about I think is worth mentioning when you ever do a rewatch of Lord of the Rings. What I mean, if I know my audience.
Come on.
When you do a rewatch of Lord of the Rings, you notice there are some elves that are in front. There's a reason those guys are in front. It's not because they think, well, I'm going to, voyage off into the web. No. The ones that are in front of the ranks, these are the guys that know we're probably going to be the ones that get taken down first. The smarter ones are going to be in the back. And the better shots are going to be the one in the back as well. every army needs some cannon fodder. So I'm gonna try to play against some of those tropes. But I've worked out some of the details of this particular alternate Earth, and I've run them by Pip, and Pip's like, "T, that's really going to work." So we'll see how we do.
But New York in the early 70s.
Oh my God, New York in the 70s, especially the late 70s.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of shit's
in
going
there.
down. A lot of shit's going down.
I mean, and there's a lot of good, like if you want to get yourself in the mood for like getting ready to write, there's a lot of good movies and documentaries set in that time period.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it's exciting, and you always know as a writer that story that speaks to you. Like after Monkey God, I'm going to start working on a project which I'm calling The Wold, which is also historically based. It doesn't have elves and orcs in it. It's set around early 1800s, and it's sort of Faye meets Jane Austen, Midsummer Night's Dream, Jane Austen style. I don't know. I'm still working on the pitch for that. But so once we've got this story, at least the first draft done, then that's what we're both going to move on and do. I also have a couple of other things. I had a whole list of things that I was going to do this year, and you know.
See, I'm just the opposite. I'm just the opposite. I feel like I've had one of the most productive years. Stop. I'm already sold. Shut up and take my money.gif. Wait, is that really... Oh my God, I think that really is a GIF. Hold on a minute.
The current project that is with my agent is Helen Mirren and Judi Dench drive through fascist England.
Oh, that's
with
Ride or
magic.
Die.
Yeah.
That's Ride or Die.
Well, it's got a new name now. It's called Sylph, because they've got different names. There's different names for the different elementals, and that involves elemental magic. And I've got an elemental magic car, which I'm particularly enamored of. I just hope it doesn't turn into Nobu. Nobu.
Pour one out for Nobu.
Or the car, depending on who you feel like, really. So yeah, I had I had a breakdown of every month of what I was going to do and what I was going to write and what I was going to edit and what I was going to publish. So throw that out the door.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I've had just the opposite. I've actually had one of the most productive years I've ever had as a writer.
Woo! Good for you!
You couldn't write a book. Oh, poor you!
I have Creative Indulgences came out this year.
Yeah.
Secret of the Monkey God might come out this year, depending.
Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
It's probably not. It'd probably be January.
I'm telling you, chat. I love writing my wife, but she is the worst when it comes to. Oh, we'll have this done by.
We should have had it done before now.
We should have had it done before now. Yes, but the problem is, life happens.
Life happens, and you got to adjust, right? So yeah. I'm just going to try and get as much done by the end of this year and then just start anew in 2021, which I suspect many people are planning on doing for everything. I'm going to take some headphones. I have a whole Regency soundtrack that I use when I'm writing The Wold, but I don't think it's going to work in this particular thing. I mean, I suppose I could listen to some steampunk music. Maybe I should try and find that. Or chase soundtracks. I often listen to creepy ambience, because I've been told many times that it's hashtag that's my brand. Creepy. I do like creepy. I'm not a big fan of slasher movies, but I like creepy movies. I like locked... Oh yeah, The Haunting of Hill House and Bly Manor. Those are my jam. If you haven't seen them, you should. Just turning off my own self. I don't want to listen to myself. Shit. kind of digging these writing sprints. All right. Cue up some music. What's this one? Let's listen to this. Another one of my favorite soundtracks to listen to is the Luther soundtrack. Idris Elba did the music, well, collated the music for the series. And
That's a great soundtrack.
it's a really good. It's really good. It does have some vocals in it, but not bad. So I'm gonna get my.
I think I would say the first 3 seasons of Luther are rock effing solid. The last one, the 4th one, was a little. Hey, Rick. Apart from Penn State, what is another prominent university in Pennsylvania? Or is Penn State considered the primo university in Pennsylvania? Pittsburgh? Thanks, nerd girl. University of Pennsylvania. Or Temple. Ooh, Temple. Yeah. Oh, that's even better. Chat, this is where you're gonna see the great secret of being a writer is spell check. I take a guess at how a word is spelled, and then if I guess it wrong, it pops up. No kidding, chat. No kidding. All right. No. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. I'm just trying to get. I'm trying to get an idea, nerd girl, of just some good some good. I'm gonna make Jack Pensworth here a guy from Pennsylvania, so I just wanted to make sure that Rick, blurts out Penn State and he goes, Temple, jackass. I think that works. I would say that's one of my strengths as a writer. I can do dialogue. I can do dialogue real well.
That's the actor part of you.
That's the actor part of me. Yep. Thanks, Nerd Girl. Appreciate that. You got it, Kat. Thank you, Rick. I might take you up on that. Turns out I also got a lot of people from Pennsylvania in chat.
Sorry?
I said it turns out I got a lot of people from Pennsylvania in chat.
Good on you, PA.
You're kicking ass, PA. You're kicking ass. I'll tell you what.
What's I love Philly's motto. Fuck around and find out.
Find out. Pittsburgh is a nice city, though. We were there for. Remember, Pittsburgh was the area where we went to. Wasn't writers? Oh, it was World Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was. That's a nice. Yeah. That was actually the first. No. It was the Nebulas. It was the Nebulas. We were there.
That was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was in Pittsburgh.
Philly, we went to.
First time I'd ever been to Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh was very nice, actually. Yeah, I liked the vibe
Nice
of the place.
food scene in Pittsburgh.
Really good food scene.
Nice
Yeah.
food scene in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Nerd Girl, Pip actually referred to Pittsburgh as the closest thing she's ever seen to Wellington.
Yeah, not in geography, but, well, yeah, kind of in geography. Yeah. Except instead of a river, they have, Wellington has a harbour.
Mika just said, I did hear, though, never book a room at the Four Cities in Philly. You end up surrounded by lawnmowers.
They're selling some really amazing merchandise now.
I bet they are. And, hey, what about the... What about the adult bookstore?
They should also be saying,
Fantasy Island,
apparently they're selling something that says, Make America Mow Again.
Oh my God. Don't want to be found dead here? No worry, crematorium is just around the corner. Nerd Girl said one of her co-workers made me cry laughing. His new Zoom background is where they had the that photograph. They just took the photograph of just the where they had all the speakers and everything set up.
It's the vet. Hello.
The vet.
Oh, doing good. He's doing really well. So we've been giving him the liquids every other day, and we've been giving him a little bit of food while we and he seems to be putting on a little, not just water, he's putting out a little bit as well.
Sorry about that, that was just the vet. She was ringing up to see how the little guy's doing. How's the little guy? How's the little guy? Huh? You looking happy there?
Woo! I'm back. Yeah, so they were just ringing to see how Benedict was doing, and they said we can try 3 days. Poke him every third day.
Oh, all right, all right.
So Thursday we'll give him a poke. She said if he's just see how he copes. They just want to find the bare minimum that we need to do to keep him happy. Right? So if we can do it every 3 days, then we will try that. But Dr. Medici said she's very happy with you. Right? She's very happy with his progress. This isn't the right soundtrack. I just had Don't You Want Me Baby. I don't think that's... It's not quite the soundtrack I want to be listening to. Our friend Alex White does some really cool soundtracks. I might put on Race for the Harrow, which is one they did for Big Ship at the End of the Universe, which is a really good book. So Alex has also produced some... Alex is one of those people that just is like ridiculously talented. Ridiculously talented. They're good at writing, they're good at music, they're good at art, they're good at everything. So they also do amazing soundtrack music for each of their books. And in fact, you know Alex's work if you've ever listened to any of the Tales from the Archives, because they did the soundtrack for the Ministry. Where in fact they gave us 2 soundtracks, because there's a light and then there's a dark.
Whoa, you okay, bud?
He just wants a spot. Where are you going? Okay. What did you call them?
ARGs.
ARGs. You're standing on a lot of stuff, huh?
What would you call this? If I was...
Wrap your hand on the table? Sorry, Gamer Kitty. There's not much room, is there?
Oh, that's cool. Hey, look, if I can help you motivate, if I can motivate you, Pip, I've got to share this. Pip, I've got to share this dialogue with you. I've got to.
Can you wait for like 140 words?
I can wait for 140 words, sure. I'm pretty proud of this little exchange I got. You're probably right, Foxwine. You gotta pace yourself there, Kat. I know that. Hey, look, horse maintenance is not easy. So I appreciate the fact that you're here, Kat. And yeah, just take a break. Take a breather. And I know that I will be back with Sunny later tonight. We're getting some people together and we're going to play some Among Us. So if anybody in chat presently wants to join us for Among Us tonight, do let me know. We will be going live at 7. Some of you may be thinking, well, wait, isn't he going to do the live event with Destiny? I think I'm sitting this one out. I'd rather go on ahead and just focus on getting getting some time in with the community and doing some Among Us. Tomorrow is going to be all Destiny all day. All right, so back to it. And yes, Allie, Kat is out in Oklahoma, and she has she has like 2 or 3 horses. In fact, she's posted, I believe she posted in my Discord a few photos of her horses. So you can check that out here if you get a chance.
Okay, done. Okay.
All right. Jack returns his attention to Giuseppe's as he fights the urge to light up. He needs to quit as the habit is not helping in any way the situation at home. Carla knows this job is stressful, but it's one thing to tell her this is a stressful job, hun, and sit outside a major operation of the Asante family, waiting for the big boss to arrive. It's okay, Jack, Rick says, seeming to read his mind. He's going to show. Let out a breath. I wish I had your optimism. Rick shakes his head. Come on, you know me. Since when have I ever put money down on a long shot or even a sure thing? This isn't about optimism. This is all about the reliability of your CI. That guy of yours is doing really she. Rick stops and looks at him. Huh? My CI is a woman. You're shitting me. I know, hard to tell. A silence falls in the car and then Rick barks a laugh. God damn, I was convinced. She's got tits, Rick. Rick turns completely to face him. Wait, you're eyeing her up? No, nothing like that. They're just hard to miss. I think I read somewhere that adult female orcs started double R cups. It's a good thing Rick had finished his coffee. Had he been drinking, Rick would have either spit it all over the dash or maybe inside the windshield. Double R? Where'd you read that? Jack shrugs. Magazine. Maybe Time, maybe People, I can't remember. He pauses. You bought the issue. strictly for the articles. Bullshit! I really don't feel like talking about this. Rick shuts up for a moment, but then the silence does not last long. So? This conversation is not helping Jack relax at all. So what? How was she? Oh, come on! Rick shakes his head. You were curious enough to pick up the issue. Jack wraps his finger against the dash of the car with each word. For the articles. His partner sorts, if that helps you sleep at night. You like that?
Yes. So these are the FBI guys.
Yeah. But I'm gonna replace Rick with a I'm gonna give him a female work partner.
Yeah.
And it was gonna be based on the woman.
Yeah,
That's in Fear City.
Yeah.
I think that would work.
Well, you could see them. They would put a woman orc in there because they're like, well, she can take it.
Yeah,
you know?
and it looks good. It looks
Diversity. Yeah. I love that. Such great characters in that.
This is like a combination of The Sopranos and Fear City. I mean, and the people in the Fear City documentary are so freaking colorful to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, all of them.
I don't think so. We're using a backup mic on this one, Glenn. But thanks for asking. I think she's good so far. I haven't tried the original mic yet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try doing a restart of the computer and see if that Carlson.
So have you downloaded Destiny? Everything's good to go?
As far as I know, it is. In fact, I should check on the download for Valhalla. Because I know that you were...
That's my next game.
That's your next game.
Time to be a Viking. Oh, Lord.
Yes.
So apparently there's a voter fraud line you can ring.
Yeah.
And all the teens are calling it.
And leaving crank calls.
Leaving great calls. One woman said she met the devil at her Georgia polling place and he challenged her to a fiddle competition. But if she lost, Biden would win.
Oh, good Lord. How cool would it be if there was an animated cartoon